All they do is lie. That's all they know how to do. All they do is lie. So the new lie is that the Heritage Foundation has endorsed Kamala Harris, which means that all that the Democrats have been saying about how dangerous Project 2025 is, it's null and void. It's a lie. So let's talk about it. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, Tabitha Speaks Politics. I am your host, Tabitha. And before we get into the video, I want to remind you guys that I will be going live this evening for the vice presidential debate between J.D. Vance and Governor Tim Walz. Starts at 9. It's going to be done by CBS. I won't be showing the debate. You will hear the debate. It'll be like a live watch along and we'll have chatting going on between it. But yeah, I want to warn you guys. It is being reported that CBS will do no fact checking. So JD Vance will be free to lie throughout the entire debate. So there's going to be some frustration that we're going to have to deal with because JD Vance will take advantage of lying. In the end, in all honesty, we all know who we're voting for at this point, whether you're for Kamala Harris or if you're for Donald Trump. We all know who we're voting for at this point. And if you don't know, what are you watching? What are you reading? What are you paying attention to? Because it's in your face literally day after day, all day long. It's in your face who the qualified candidate is. Anywho, if you've come across this video and are not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and click that subscribe button. I would love to have you. We talk all things political news by way of viral news story and the viral news that's happening over in MAGAville is that the Heritage Foundation has endorsed Kamala Harris, which means all of what the Democrats have been saying about Project 2025 being dangerous and Donald Trump being dangerous and all of this stuff, all of that is null and void. It's Kamala Harris. She's the one that's dangerous if you think Project 2025 is dangerous because they are supporting her. It's a lie. They are manipulating the situation. Here's where they're getting this information from. Right here. There's an article going around over in MAGAville on Twitter. I don't know where this article is from. You can see that they have conveniently cut out all of the identifying markers so you can't backtrack into this article. I had a hell of a time trying to backtrack into it. And then I was like, you know what? It really doesn't matter because there's enough articles out there that's debunking this trash. So this is what they are sharing over in MAGAville. An article that says founder of Project 2025 Heritage Foundation endorsed Kamala Harris. And then in smaller writing that says Representative Marvin H. Edwards, a current and founding trustee of the Heritage Foundation, the author of Project 2025, endorsed Kamala Harris for president. Lies. It's all lies. Let me tell you what's really going on. I went over and found this article from the Huffington Post. And the Huffington Post has quoted, they reached out to who this Heritage Foundation trustee is. Mikey Edwards, right? They reached out to him and they quoted him as saying, quote, I have no relationship whatsoever with the Heritage Foundation and have not had for a very long time, end quote. He goes on to say, quote, all I know about Project 2025 is what I read in the newspapers, end quote. Now, this man Mickey Edwards. He's a former congressman. Okay, back in, I think, 1970s to the early 1990s. He was a Republican congressman who represented the state of Oklahoma. During that time, he was a part of the Heritage Foundation. This man, Mickey Edwards, whose real name is Marvin H. Edwards, he was a founding trustee of the Heritage Foundation. But he has no doings or no dealings with the Heritage Foundation, hasn't had any dealings with the Heritage Foundation for decades. He has not been a part of Project 2025, as he has not been a part of the Heritage Foundation. Furthermore, he's no longer a Republican. He left the Republican Party a long time ago. He now is an independent. And so what brought all of this forth was he did an article. And in that article, he talked about how you should endorse or vote for Kamala Harris. And he lists the reasons why. Foreign policy was one of the biggest reasons why he feels you should endorse and vote for Kamala Harris. Clearly, he is a Kamala Harris supporter and has endorsed Kamala Harris. Furthermore, the Heritage Foundation came out, put a tweet out, and said, quote, a trustee who served for 1 year over half a century ago and supported Barack Obama and Biden and the Harris administration is no conservative and does not represent the Heritage Foundation. That's what the Heritage Foundation said about all of this hoopla about them endorsing Kamala Harris. They're making it clear. No, this man supports and endorses black people. He supports democracy. He doesn't support what it is that we do here over at the Heritage Foundation. That's what the Heritage Foundation came out and said. And because he doesn't support what the Heritage Foundation does and supports what President Obama does, supports what Democratic presidents do, yeah, we have no ties to this man. And yet they are still trying to push this lie. Okay? Okay, so the next time you see the MAGA nuts out there talking about how Project 2025 has endorsed Kamala Harris, because I was in a couple of lives, and that's what the MAGA nuts are saying in these lives. Project Heritage Foundation and Project 2025 endorsed Kamala Harris. What do you got to say about that? Well, what I've got to say about that is a lie, just like you are. And you should learn to read past the headlines. Typically, the truth is in the first or the second paragraph of the article, but MAGA nuts cannot read past the headline. The man is not a part of the Heritage Foundation. He was decades ago. Decades ago. He was a founding trustee. He hasn't had dealings with the Heritage Foundation like what the Heritage Foundation said for decades. He's not even a Republican. Again, he's an independent. He left the Republican Party. That's how fucked up he sees the Republicans, the MAGA nuts, and the Heritage Foundation.